Hi, it's Leaf, and let's talk about my time at Sandrock again. As you know, the full release has been delayed until November, and there's quite a bit of stuff I can't talk about as a tester, but there are some things I can talk about without giving anything away. And today I want to talk about Owen, as he is in the currently available version of the game. Next to Fang and Logan, Owen is my favorite bachelor, and not just mine. These guys are the big three, and I already talked about both Fang, way too much in fact, and Logan. But I never talked about Owen, so allow me to rectify this mistake. Owen is an absolute darling. Looks like a cinnamon roll, is a cinnamon roll. Or is he? What exactly do we know about Owen as a person? Not that much. He doesn't have that much content yet. I mean, he does appear here and there in the game, usually helping others, having weird ideas like the dance-off, or giving people money. He's definitely the pillar of Sandrock community, and we know he is very well respected. But we, as players, don't spend that much time with him because he doesn't have that many personal quests. And definitely not many where his backstory is mentioned. Or any kind of personal story for that matter. I mean, we do know quite a bit about him, if only because he's an important person in town. We do know he was born and grew up in Sandrock. His father took over Martel's hotel and turned it into the saloon we know and love. We also know Owen's been traveling. He spent a portion of his younger years adventuring with a guy named Butch, who reveals that our barkeep was always a big hit with the ladies, which shouldn't really surprise anyone. Because of his travels and probably the fact that he runs a saloon, and basically grew up in it, Owen knows many stories and is a great storyteller. He likes to take care of people, he is very friendly, helpful and warm. He's also filthy rich, well, for Sandrock standards anyway. And on top of everything else, he also willingly, in fact sometimes forcefully, shares his wealth with those less fortunate than him. He's also handsome, in good physical shape, and if a cozy evening in front of the fire had a voice, it would sound just like Owen. For all intents and purposes, he is the Prince Charming of Sandrock. Clearly, he is supposed to be the least problematic of the bachelors. Currently, he offers a relationship completely devoid of challenges, trouble, second-guessing, and, well, any kind of fixing, because there's nothing to fix. He's a well-adjusted, mature man with seemingly no doubts and no regrets in life. He can be a touch shy at times, he's also honest to a fault and basically incapable of lying, even for a good cause. But other than that, he seems to know exactly what he wants and what he likes. And judging from his Radiant quest, it's basically vegetables and fish and not much else. And this is the biggest problem with this character: lack of content. For a guy as popular as he is, it's almost impossible to believe that this is all we get. And it isn't, hopefully. We know there will be more quests, but we don't know what kind. And as perfect as he is, he desperately needs a bit of character development. For now, he's just that sweet guy who constantly wants us to catch fish. And, you know, that's not a lot. Okay, maybe in terms of personality, we already know what Owen is like. Everybody knows what Owen is like, and it's one of his flaws. Because he's just so universally friendly and good, it feels like he doesn't pay that much attention to anything or anyone in particular, including the builder, apart maybe from Amira, but he only mentions this once, and not even directly. So what he actually needs is some depth and some personal interests. To be honest, in terms of new content for Owen, I think we'll get a standard romance quest, but not much, if anything, in terms of a backstory. Which is a shame, especially for those who like him, but don't plan on getting into a relationship with him. Technically, if Owen's supposed to be that honest Mr. Right, he doesn't need that much backstory because we already know what we need to know. He's no Logan, who plays such a crucial role in the main story he can only become available as a love interest very late in the game. And he is no Fang, who needs to be free, adjusted and fixed on so many levels it's not even funny. He's just Owen. You know Owen, there's nothing more to him than meets the eye. He's perfect and that's all you need to know. There's no need to complicate things. And personally, I think that's a terrible waste. Those tiny little crumbs of his past that get revealed are a treasure trove of potential delicious complications. And his implied crush on Amira is the least interesting of the lot, although I wouldn't mind it being revisited at some point. Everything that we learn about and hear about in passing could potentially make for a unique and awesome backstory. His adventuring days, the fact that he's so fixated on helping Sandrock and being fair to everybody, his wealth, even the lady who doesn't write him love letters anymore. I'm not gonna speculate here because I learned my lesson and I already know that all my ideas and speculations regarding Sandrock are always wrong. But if I were to look at Owen and come up with a story for him based solely on what we already know, I'd say the guy's an ex-pirate. I mean, he dresses like one. Yes, his colorful outfit and all the jewelry simply emphasize the fact that he's a bit of a bard, probably, and that he traveled a lot. But come on, he looks like a pirate. Not like the sky sharks, I mean the romanticized kind. A dashing captain who'll steal your cargo and your heart. Of course, he's reformed. He deeply regrets his rebellious youth and his life of crime and uses his illicitly obtained fortune to help Sandrock. He tries to pay off his debt to society, so to speak. That's why he never complains, even when he knows he's being duped by Jan. That's why he wants to convince Grace she doesn't need to pay him back. That's why he tries so hard to be altruistic and good. And that's why he seems uncomfortable when Butch shows up and starts talking about their past. Frankly, it almost feels as if Owen pushes us out of this conversation, and later he doesn't even let Butch see us in private. We get that letter from him. I wanted to see you, but Owen said not to disturb you. Did he? Because he doesn't want us and the whole town to learn the truth, huh? But, of course, that's just my imagination running wild. Alas, Owen has certain character traits that rule out such a scenario. For example, the fact that he is, as I already mentioned, completely incapable of lying. He would not do well as a criminal, no matter how charming. He probably wouldn't even be able to come up with such an idea in the first place. I mean, to become a pirate. Of course, it's not that I necessarily need Owen to have a particularly complicated past. It could be interesting, but I can do without it. But I certainly wouldn't mind seeing this character get a few more advanced personal quests. It would also be nice if his would-be love affair with Amira lived to see some development, or at least a mention. Owen is a great character with a lot of potential, but even if we insist on turning him into Mr. Perfect, it doesn't necessarily mean that he has to be a cardboard cutout. Good and well-adjusted doesn't have to mean boring and two-dimensional. So all wild ideas aside, I think that Owen needs a little bit of selfishness. And we, as players, need a sign that he's not just that giving, caring person who only wants Sandrock to prosper and everybody to be happy, but an actual human being. Of course, him being completely quote-unquote married to Sandrock is also a path that could be explored, and convincing him to actually have a personal life could be an idea for Owen's character. Like, dude, chill, you're not a public good, you are allowed some me time. That could be interesting. In any case, we need something. So, for now, we can only wait for the game's release and hope. Okay, so who is your favorite love interest in Sandrock? Leave a comment if you like. Of course, comments help my videos, but I'm honestly interested and I quite obviously like to talk about these things. And that's it for today. Thanks a lot for watching, and I see you in the next video. Take care.